Welcome everyone. I'm hosting today. Today we are obviously the Health and Wellbeing Café, normally run by Vanessa. And today we're sharing happiness habits. So I'm really excited that you're all here today, and I'm really excited to be presenting. But before we get started, I just want to go over some Zoom etiquette. So tonight's presentation will be recorded, so just switch off your screen if you don't want to be on the video, and please keep your microphone on mute. There will be time for questions and a discussion, but you can use the chat function anytime during the call, and the call will go on till at least around 9 p.m. So expectations for tonight: if you are seeking help and advice, this would be a good opportunity to learn new things, an opportunity to network with new people, or if you're just curious as to what this session's about, or are you here for something else? So yeah, just setting the tone for what's to come. Come on, Vanessa.
Well, they have an opportunity to tell us what's motivated them to come on the call tonight, Denise.
All right, yes. Sorry, I forgot that one.
That's all right.
Yeah, so what are your expectations for tonight's call? You may have seen Vanessa advertising tonight, this evening, or you might be a regular that come to the Health and Wellbeing Café. Yeah, please share what has drawn you here tonight.
Hi, it's Louise. Can you hear me?
Hi, Louise. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, so I'm just loving the group. So I've been part of the group since January. I thought tonight's talk that Vanessa's going to do sounds very interesting. So I wanted to join in the monthly groups for a while. So I thought it's a perfect opportunity to just, start to join in with the groups and meet more of the community really within, the group.
Awesome. And so this is your first time?
It is, yes.
Oh, well done. Oh, cool. Exciting. And who else is on the call?
It's me, Joanna.
Oh, hi.
Hi. No, I just I love tuning in to the Wellbeing Cafe. I come quite regularly, so yeah, I wouldn't miss Vanessa's talk. Yeah.
Number one fan.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's good to hear. So, like I said, my name is Denise Mustard. I'm the emotional fitness coach. That's what I do. I help people let go of their emotional pain and suffering, and help them step into their power. And I've been connected with Vanessa since October 2020, and I've been part of the cafe as well. And presented about connecting to the universe. And Vanessa was like, hang on, I need to think of someone to come and do the cafe. And she forgot about herself. And she shares a lot of wisdom normally, but it's good to hear her sharing more wisdom. And we've been, like I said, connected for almost, it's more than 2 years now. It doesn't feel like that. And since that time, we've both grown. I'd like to think that we've kind of helped each other evolve along the way, and we've worked at various different projects. And I've never worked with anyone like I have with Vanessa. So I'm really honored to be here and to present. And yeah, I'm going to talk a bit more about our relationship later, though. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Denise. Thank you.
So today, obviously, we've got our reflection time. What has been your health highlights this month? What's going well for you in terms of your active lifestyle? Because we're now we're heading to May, so we've almost done April. What are you focusing on for me, or, you know, are you really, because the weather's warmed up, you know, in the last few weeks. Does that mean you've become more, you know, active during that time? Are you more conscious about you putting your summer clothes on? Yeah, just let's discuss what's been happening for everyone.
I'll start us off there, Denise. Thank you
Yeah.
for you know, asking the question. I mean, for me personally, I've put an emphasis on my gym routine. So my cardio routine has been more or less, you know, in flow, particularly since, you know, after Christmas and everybody gets back to class. I've been enjoying that. But as you know, with your background, it's the weightlifting that will make a difference. So I have been going to the gym. In fact, I'm due in the gym tomorrow morning and again on Saturday morning, and just trying to put emphasis on the weightlifting.
So what kind of exercises do you do when you're doing the weightlifting?
Well, this week it's been arms, and I actually discovered a new machine in there. I don't know what it's called, but you're doing this with your arms, and then you do a squat and you do this. It's been brilliant.
Is that like a pedally thing? Are you pedaling or punching? I'm not sure.
No, you're standing up, but I think you can sit down. And I set the program where I was listening to the instructor, and he was like, you're supposed to like lift it up, and you're doing different. I'll find the name and I will post it in the group. But it's, put it this way, I feel when you're in the gym, because you are definitely having that intimate time on your own, unless you've got lots of friends there, which I don't. I want to have fun in the gym. That's why I prefer the classes, because you can, you know, kind of get into what the instructor's saying and everything. So this particular exercise, because it's a video and you can listen to the instructor, I had a lot of fun for 20 minutes doing this and squatting and then going up again.
Well, like you said, obviously my experience, I used to be a personal trainer for 20 years. And it's funny because whenever I spoke to anyone that came into the gym, it would be like, oh, so what did you do? Well, I did something like this, and then I did this, and then I did, there was always just actions, no names to anything. So I was like, okay, I'm with you. I just wasn't sure what this was.
I don't know what it is, Dee. All I know is it was a good workout.
Good. Anybody else, Louise? You've just started, like you said, with Vanessa. What's changed for you over the last few months?
Really just concentrating on self-care, self-love, in all sorts of ways, physical, mentally. I've been doing some quite deep diving in the last couple of months on the psychological side, which has been really beneficial to me. So I'm just loving learning so much, and just the energy in the group. I'm just loving it. I really am. And the weather, of course, getting out the summer dresses and the sandals.
Yes.
Yes.
I got my feet done the other day, so now I don't bring shame on the family when I put my sandals on. Had nail varnish on since January, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, and Jo, how have you been?
Hey, hi. Yeah, so I've joined the fitness marathons, which is like healthy eating and losing weight. So I'm on the second one of them. Not doing great on them, but it's all a learning process. So I started doing that. I've gone back to swimming, which I couldn't do because my son's been a little bit poorly and stuff. But yeah, and then just having more activities with like for my son, and I've got myself a new journal as well. So yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Jo has actually done really well, because she sends her body composition to me every morning, and you know, we're getting used to what our body's doing. So yeah, some days there is some changes that we're really happy with, and some days there's changes that we're thinking, I want to see improvement on that. But you're only on lap 2, Jo, and as I said to you today, I feel that for myself, I think it's the 4th lap. I'm just kind of kicking into the routine and how I can make more focus and better decisions. So please don't be too hard on yourself. You're doing really well.
You know, we've got
And somebody's with us.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, we've got to take into consideration our hormones and stuff as well, because it can create a lot of water retention. Like, I was giving myself a bit of a hard time. I was like, oh God, I look so bloated and blah, blah, blah. And then I got my period like 2 days ago, and then everything's just going to go and gone back to normal. So yeah, it depends on where you are in your cycle, how your body responds. So it's never going to just be a decline, you know, when your weight, you know, you're trying to lose weight. Sorry, yeah, there is somebody. Hi,
Alison. Hi, Alison. Do you have a health update for us this month?
I do, actually. I've been a bit absent in all sorts of things, primarily due to the fact that everything's just been so mad with work, new people joining, and then all the families had COVID. It's done its second round. Well, apart from me, I've managed to stay clear of it, thankfully. But I went to yoga and meditation yesterday for the first time locally. And I used to do Pilates every week, sometimes twice a week, because I have a gym membership. And of course, lockdown hit, and I haven't done any form of exercise like that for 2 years. So I went yesterday, and I cannot believe it, even just today, like my shoulders, my neck, how it just seems more fluid. And I've also started being really, really good, more water. So yes, I've sort of, I think I needed a bit of time to talk myself into it, if you know what I'm saying. I have to sort of do things in tiny steps until I'm sort of totally focused. So, like, but yes, I'm on the way.
But it's those tiny steps that they gather momentum, don't they? Yeah. And if you change everything like too quickly, it's unrealistic to then expect longevity with it. And I think this is what people like fail a lot, is because the goals, like the expectations, are really high. And that's why something as simple as water is like, you know, focus on the water and just drink as much of it, because that will change everything in your status, you know, like your appetite, obviously your hydration, but your focus would then be on just drinking water, not eating as well, you know.
I think sometimes you can get a bit overwhelmed by things, and I think that's what I am trying to avoid. I think that sort of like COVID, it just sort of, for me, it really, I just got that I didn't want to go anywhere, I didn't want to do anything. So I'm sort of, I'm steering well away from that. And I've sort of, these last few months, I've sort of done a lot more things than what I was doing. And it was just as simple as going to pick something up from the shop. I wouldn't do it. So as I say, that's coming back. And as I say, the fact drinking more water, and I've noticed a difference in myself. I went through a stage where I did it, then I stopped, and it's crazy. And I think, you know, sometimes it is a little bit about mindset. And what I found interesting was when you talked about your hormones. For me, I'm going through the menopause, and I'd like to think that I'm nearly at the end of it, to be quite honest with you. But even now, with that, I find that I do retain quite a lot of water. So, but I think also, as I say, we're drinking a lot more water. It's probably balanced it out a bit, because my tummy's not been quite so bloated.
Yeah, that's how you get rid of water, is drinking more water.
Yeah, you see, you'd never think of that. I never even considered that as, you know, well, as a fact, to be quite honest. So,
as well, reducing your carbohydrates, because every molecule of glucose has 4 molecules of water. So when you cut your carbs, that's the first thing to go in terms of weight loss, is the water. So
right. Well, I don't say too much, else Vanessa, she'll tell me off, because I did a water challenge, didn't I, when we did this before, and then it just sort of, everything went on the back burner. So I'm back on it.
You did, Alison. I've just put into the chat, the next water challenge is coming up in June. And I'm so proud, you know. I'm not going to name names, but there is a lady who said she was joining the water challenge when I did it, and she didn't. And then because I've connected with her about other things, yesterday she posted a private message to me. She said, Vanessa, I just thought you'd want to know that I drank. And she showed me how much, it was a litre of water. She was showing me her bottles. She said, I just thought you'd want to know. And I was so touched that, you know, she'd focused in on it and then she'd actually shared that with me. So this is what this group's about. Well, we're talking about the Facebook group in particular, that we're all on the same mission, which is a healthy, active lifestyle. So yeah, keep going with that. Sorry, I messed the screen up, Denise, so I'm coming back with the screen now. I was trying to be clever and it didn't quite work. So can you see everything?
Yes, I can.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, so I think we could go on to the next slide then.
Oh, that's gone a bit funny.
I think that's what was wrong, because I think
it's still gone funny. Right, okay. Yeah, that is the next slide.
Yeah, so obviously this is a rundown of tonight. So I'm going to be talking about intuitive eating, and then Vanessa will be doing her supercharge your super you, which I'm really excited to listen to. And then we'll have a 5-minute break, and then we will then well, Vanessa will be doing the change your mindset to change your life. So I'm super excited about that. Next slide. So are we going to do that after the emotional fitness, Vanessa?
Yeah, we're going to do the emotional fitness, and then we're going to have a chance to network together. So, which is just a general chat.
Oh, okay. This is afterwards. Sorry, this is like, oh yeah. Yes, and then there'll be a raffle, and then dates for your calendar for up and coming events. So the emotional fitness, let me just explain that one. It will tie in with the intuitive eating. So I'll explain that further.
Sorry, my keypad is just so sticky.
Okay, yes. So so tonight I thought I would discuss intuitive eating, because obviously you guys are doing a lot of challenges and things, and I've often heard people often heard people talking about intuitive eating, and it's not something I've ever really done before up until recently. And like I said, I've been a personal trainer for 20 years, and so when I was a PT, I was really lean, fit, and never really had problems with my weight. And I would eat a lot of protein and maybe train 4 or 5 times a week. And I was on my feet. I must like all day from my first client was 6 a.m. till 8, 9 p.m. I would be home by 10, right? So I think, I mean, even if I didn't eat well, I think I probably would have still been pretty lean. I didn't stop moving. But after having children and after turning vegetarian, I found it difficult to keep my weight off. In fact, it's always been a focus. So sometimes just get fed up, and because obviously eating protein is like the given to it's an easier way to lose weight, but I didn't want to give into the whole like not being a vegetarian. So being a vegetarian to me is now important, since I've been doing it the last 4 or 5 years. So recently I've done some fasting, I've done some juicing in the past. And so what I did for myself was to just like do what I do when I'm trying to guide myself into my next steps through my business or working through some emotional issues, is just either start writing or like just close my eyes and just be with myself, and what it like really allow myself to ask myself the question, like, what is the problem? What do I need to do? What does my body need in order to like release some extra weight? And what I found was I felt like I already was doing what felt natural. Like, so if I eat too much, I feel so uncomfortable. So that's why I really like the fasting. So, but I wasn't like, some mornings I'd wake up and I'd be like so hungry. So I decided to just go, well, if I'm really hungry this morning, I will eat. I mean, this is going to sound really obvious, but for me, it wasn't obvious until I was like doing it consciously versus just having eaten and then being annoyed at myself for eating because I was supposed to be fasting. Do you see what I'm saying? So just eating when I need to eat, but then fasting when, you know, and going as far as I could. And then when I do eat, eating just like super healthy. But one of the things I've been focusing a lot is fat, eating a lot more fat and eating protein, but eliminating carbohydrates. Because when I was, again, at my leanest, I was just eating protein and nuts, a lot of nuts. So that was like my fat intake. And for me, like, over the last, like, and I've only been doing it really for like a month. I've been juicing because since having COVID at the end of November, I've not been able to get my taste and smell back. So I've been wanting to just take loads of vitamins and nourish myself and drink loads of juices. So I've been doing that as well. So as well as the fasting, I've just been literally just focusing on just nourishing myself so I feel better. And then just eating so that I would choose things that I really enjoy, like fennel. I really like fennel. I don't know why. Some people don't like it, but I really like it. I like its crunchiness, and, you know, with olive oil, it tastes good. And something like, an example, I made like a really nice thing with a salad with burrata, you know, the mozzarella cheese thing. And I ate the whole thing and I was like, oh, my stomach's so sore. So I bought it again the other day and I was like, okay, well, I remembered like my stomach was so sore for like the entire afternoon. I cut it in half and just, and again, I was just starting to listen to my body more. And not only did I feel much better, and I just ate a little bit more salad with the burrata, and I just feel like I'm just eating way less, but I don't feel like, if I was to count my calories, which I have been doing as well, just to make sure that I have a low carbohydrate and good fat and protein split. So I'm making sure that if I'm making sure I'm reaching my protein goals and reaching my fat, but still my calories aren't, but I'm not really focusing too much on getting my calories up, because if I'm getting my calories up, then I'm forcing myself to eat when I'm not really that bothered about eating. And like the last few months, like, and let me just like say, I have had, like, I've just been constantly eating, like that's all I've been doing. And I've been eating and it's been making me feel miserable. And I don't know why I've been doing it. So I got to a point where I was just like, oh, enough is enough. And you just have to just like choose, like just go cold turkey. That's why I like the fasting. So if you reflect upon your own eating habits, what has felt good for you, what hasn't, what has worked. And it's not about just restricting your calories or just fasting or just juicing or just doing it's about choosing what works for you. So it's almost like it's just taking a little bit from each, because what happens is when people are so used to dieting, it's really being focused then on, oh, this diet worked. And so then when you only just focus on that diet and you come off of it, you feel like a failure. And then getting back on track is really difficult. So it's just really trying to understand what your own needs are, as opposed to, you know, someone else saying this is what you need to eat. It just doesn't make sense. So it's really about going into really thinking about the times when you've had something to eat and that's actually that made you feel really full, for example, has given you lots of energy. You know, your stomach has agreed with it. And this is what we're going to do with the emotional fitness side, is like let go of any sort of like emotions that we have around food, and then go into what is coming up. So I will guide you later on as to do that for yourselves, and we'll see and we'll discuss what comes up. Okay. So has anyone got any questions?
I haven't, Denise. That was fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
Yeah, I think, Denise, I found the whole thing around meals, nutrition, all very overwhelming, all very mind-boggling to me. And it is something that it's really interesting what you were saying about I'm making notes as you're talking, because that really helps me. So I've just put what works for you, and actually I think it would have really helped me to make a note of when I'm eating a certain meal, being a lot more aware and noting, how does that make me feel? Like you just said, how does that make me feel? Am I bloated? Do I feel full? Do I feel satisfied? Has it energized me? Yeah.
And so what did you eat today, for example?
Today's a bit of a weird day. So today, oh, confessions this is, I'm blushing. So today I've had a Greek flatbread, style flatbread for lunch, and I've had antipasta chorizo, potatoes, I've had some mozzarella balls, I've had some sun-dried tomatoes, I had some falafels with that, so that was like lunch. I didn't have breakfast, which I know is naughty. I just wasn't hungry.
But then that's fine. Is it naughty?
Yeah, but well, they say that's the best meal of the day.
I know, so this is what I used to say, right, as well. But I mean, fasting has been scientifically proven to be beneficial, right? So, you know, again, choose. Do you want to, if you're not hungry, just, I mean, what I would recommend is like drink lots of water in the morning, right? Because you've been fasting, like you've obviously been sleeping, and you wake up, instead of hitting the coffee or tea, drink, like I normally drink like one of these before I even have a glass of mug of coffee, or what is good is just like lemon, like squeeze a lemon, and that will help nice cleanse, and you know, you're getting the vitamin C from the lemons. You can take your supplements then, so it's just getting into a good routine like that as well, which is just, you know, starting the day right. So you don't necessarily need to eat, but just be mindful of how you're feeling, because sometimes if I eat late, I don't want to eat in the morning, I still feel full. So just giving your body that time to digest everything.
Yeah, it's good advice. And I've had a ready meal. I'm trying to get away from the ready meals, but because of my circumstances, I do tend to go for those. Duck, noodle, and little vegetables.
You know, the simplest meals though, like tonight, I had salad, and this is what I used to do when I was working at PT. I just open a packet salad and then open a packet of fish and then chuck some cherry tomatoes, and that would be my dinner. And that would literally take me 5 minutes. And so tonight I had salad, you know, those packets of lentils. I put some lentils, some halloumi and some tomatoes, and that was it. And it took me 5 minutes. So, you know, the thing with the ready meals, is it quicker? But also, you know, you've got a lot of high salt content. Obviously you have to put in the microwave, and that microwaving anything isn't good because it's dead nutrition, right? So are you nourishing yourself? So I used to always ask myself, like, if I was getting something, I would be like, okay, is this good for me? And be like, and you'll know inside of you, you'll feel a yes or a no. And so try and use that as your guiding in decisions that you're making, because you can still make good decisions, even though when you believe that you can't. That's my opinion, but I mean, that might take a while for you to get to that point, right? You might feel like, especially if you're overwhelmed with food in general, then it would be easier to just get dinner ready, right? So maybe when we do the emotional fitness, we'll go into just letting go of the overwhelm, right? because that's going to stop you making better choices.
That's good advice. Thank you.
Okay. Alison, I saw your finger go up.
Yeah, I was going to say the biggest thing for me is mindset. It really is. But I do know, like, I do pay attention to what my body is telling me. And I really got myself hung up about the fact that the weight that I put on over COVID, but it's taken me till now to sort of really focus myself to start to sort of really do something about it. Because I'd look at myself in the mirror and I'd sort of quickly turn away because I didn't like what I saw as far as my body's concerned, but I couldn't get my head around actually doing something about it. I mean, my partner and I, we do eat healthy. We don't have a lot of takeaways. We do not have sort of like lots of quick meals or anything. And I'm not saying that I've never done that, because I think sometimes in your life you do. But we do have a very varied diet. But I do also, I think for me, some of it is portion control.
Yeah, so this is one of the things that we used to teach. Obviously, water is one of the key things that we would teach as well. But portion control is also one of them. And we use the hand guide. So this is protein, this is fat, and that was carbohydrates. So like vegetable carbohydrates is hat. So you use the hand guide. If you Google that, you'll be able to find the hand guide. So if you use, I mean, everyone's hand is relative, right? So if your hand is like a shovel, you're gonna be a big person, right? So you're gonna need that food. So I think that would be a good place to start. But also, you know, when you're going through periods where you're not eating well, this has got nothing to do with so you, like for me, like the last few months I put on quite a lot of weight for me, and but it wasn't that I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't that you know, I didn't know all of these things, right? But it was like I was letting myself be in this sort of, I don't want to call it a Debbie Downer, but there, you know, there's points where we're not always high, right? And you know, and so I was just letting myself go with it, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to do it. And because I knew that at some point I was going to refocus, and I was going to go, what? Stop the bus. I'm going to get off, and then do it again. So if that's the case, nobody is like 100% lean all of the time. Even the people who claim to be, you know, the fittest, whatever, they have periods in where they feel like, you know, they've put on a couple of pounds and they have to pull it back again. So it's completely normal. If you're looking to lose a significant amount of weight, then you have to be like, you know, keep on top of it, right? But there's what they call a set point theory, where basically if you've lost like 4 kilos and you've lost that weight and you've got to a new point, in order for you to like lose that weight for good, the fat cells need to shrink and die off, and then you won't fluctuate. So you need to be like, whatever you're doing in that moment in time, you have to be consistent with it in order for you to lose that weight for good, right? But you know, with like, you know, for example, for me, like I'd actually gained quite a lot for me, but when I was a PT, between 65 and 67 was my fluctuation point. But now it's like it's all, I've got like a wider range. Anyway, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't actually care that much. So it is what it is. And so as long as you accept it and go, okay, right, you know, I want to feel a bit better within myself and whatnot, then that's when you start focusing on you. And again, the seasons, your body's got circadian rhythm as well. So you know, your body clock is what that means. So making sure that you know, there'll be a rhythm to the seasons as well. So which is why everyone piles on the weight over Christmas, right? It's not just because it's Christmas, it's the winter fat and we're trying to keep warm. So there's things that are happening even you know, when we're trying to be good, right? So just being aware of that. Okay.
I'm loving all of this, because to me you sound, I don't wish this to sound awful, but you sound like the first normal person I've met that talks about food. Because as I say, a lot of it is you know, I can relate to it, because I know some you do get these people that are really, really focused, and sadly I'm not one of those.
No,
so this is why I'm sort of finding everything that you're saying I can really relate to. But somebody who's absolutely focused and will only eat certain things at certain times and go to the gym every day, and it's just you know, repeat. I can't do that.
No, and like, you know, doing your meal plans and everything, it does take a certain amount of discipline, but once that discipline is gone, it's you know, those people, and I've worked with those people, they chastise themselves, they bring shame on themselves for not maintaining it, and it's like, you just need to like get a life a little bit, and
yeah,
well, important, you know.
Well, I think another thing for me is that I'm 64 this year, and sometimes I just think to myself, oh, what the heck? But then again, I think to myself, I don't want to be in a position where I just don't bother at all.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think like my mom, she's a good example. She turned 71 last year, and I think she really does focus on her health, but it's because she doesn't want to like, she just wants to be healthy, right? And so when your focus is just health, then you make better decisions as well. So I feel like the whole weight thing is really boring, but you know, you can't put a measure on your health, so you know, that's something that we have to keep on top of all the time. Anyway, I don't want to go on too much, because obviously we're not here to talk about me and my diet. This is Vanessa's masterclass on Supercharge a Super You, and I'm really excited about that, and I love the picture. So I just want to tell you a bit about Vanessa's progress and you know, our history together, because obviously, like I said to you, we met in 2020 October, and she was introduced to me, and it was the conversation we were having for me to come on this very health cafe. And my first impressions of Vanessa, we just clicked. We were on the same page with many things, and I just liked her energy, and I just liked hanging out with her, to be honest. I was like, do you want to just talk again next week? And we just did, and from that we created many things, from our Vibrate Higher empowerment series, to our Divine Cuppa YouTube channel, and she also joined me on my coaching program and mentoring program, the Sisters of Light, which started in June this year. And I've seen Vanessa really evolve into a calmer, grounded, powerful woman who has like really good relationships, and there's never a problem that Vanessa can't solve. And so I'm really excited to see what she's going to share with us and her wisdom, because yeah, it's invaluable. So just take it all in, ladies. Hand it over to you, Vanessa.
Oh, wow, what a beautiful introduction. Thank you, Denise. And this is not the talk, but I have to share this story before I do the talk. So Denise said, there's not a problem Vanessa can't solve, which was Vanessa at 2 o'clock this afternoon, literally thinking, no, I'm not going to run up the campus to get these what was it, catering equipment from the School of English, but I know someone who can help me. So yes, Denise, there's always a way to solve a problem, even at a time of panic. And by the time everyone came downstairs at 3 o'clock, it was like afternoon tea. So yes, there's always a will and a way. Okay, well, thank you so much, Denise, for hosting this evening. It's been an absolute honor for me to have you as part of tonight's session. And yeah, we've been on a journey together. It was June last year that I started on your program, and I'm so glad that as my coach that you have seen my growth. And obviously I'm still on my way. I'm only just getting started, as they say. So this is just a snippet of time, and I just want to show my appreciation to you and to the other sisters that are on that program, and also for the women who are not just on tonight's call, but the women who've supported the Health and Wellbeing Café along its journey, which actually started in 2018 as a live event. So it's been a long road, but I've enjoyed every moment. All right, so I'm going to get started now on my talk, which is called Supercharge the Super You. And it's really a way of me sharing key principles that have helped me along my journey, which, as I've just said, I'm just getting started. But I just wanted to share a story with you about the beginning of this year. And this is no word of a lie, but at 11:45 on New Year's Day, I got the sad news that my daughter's grandmother had passed away. And it was such a devastating information, as you can imagine. It was New Year's Day, and it really did knock me for six. I actually went to our relative's home and I sat with her body, and we waited for over 5 hours for the undertaker to arrive, and we had our way of saying goodbye. Then on the 8th day of this year, I was at a funeral service for my foster mother who had passed away in December. And again, as you can imagine, it was a very emotional time for me. And I just thought, wow, can this year get any worse? Well, yes, it did, because I haven't made a note of it. About 9 days into the year, then I was unwell myself. And, when you're not very well, everything just seems like a struggle. So in terms of the bereavement, I just wanted to share this quote because it has been a very sad time for many over the last 2 years. So if you have lost anybody at this time, then hopefully this quote may resonate with you. There are no happy endings. Endings are the saddest part. So just give me a happy middle and a very happy start. So why am I sharing this story with you? Well, the significance of the story hopefully will come into its own as you get to know a bit more about the principles that I use. And basically, these principles I use on a daily basis. I think we've touched on some of them this evening, and Denise is going to take us through a little bit more on that emotional fitness side. But I just want you to know that, I found a way of bouncing back brighter, and I'm shining my light. So don't get me wrong, my loved ones are still very much with me, and I definitely resonate. And it's not even a resonation, I just know that it's about energy and it's about consciousness. So for me, yes, they've left in their physical form, but in terms of their energy, I can tap into their energy at any time, and that gives me a lot of peace. So many of you may have heard this story during the Giving Gratitude and Love series that I've just shared over the last 5 days, but I do think it's important for those of you who don't really know me to, again, get a sense of where I am actually coming from. Because yes, it's been beautiful to hear the words that Denise has said about her observations of how she can see how I've grown over the last year, maybe year and a half, 2 years. But my actual story goes back a little bit further than that. And I just want to share that 13 years ago, you know, I was a single mom and I actually had low confidence and low self-esteem. I was struggling with my finances, I was struggling with my health, I was struggling with my self-image, I was struggling with my identity. I'd lost my professional identity. I knew that there was something that I could give to the world, but I tried something and it didn't work. So what do? Do you just stop? Or do you decide that you're going to pick yourself up and keep going? I was attracting uncommitted and very emotionally detached partners. So even though I was having stints of being single, I was having relationships and those men were not the men for me. And to be honest, my relationship with my teenagers and myself was off track. So, you know, I'm definitely a different woman. It's the same body, but in terms of my mindset and how I feel about myself, I have definitely changed over the last 13 years. So all in all, whether we talk about what's happened at the beginning of this year or 13 years ago, it's recognizing I've now got this awareness that my emotions were actually at the lower end of the vibrational scale, the emotional scale, sorry. So, you know, emotions such as grief and sadness, they're going to take you right down. And I've shared that over the last 5 days. Well, the first day that we did in the series that I've just done, we really went through that. And it's really good. Hopefully I've got Louise and Joe on the line with me. Hopefully you'll have a chance later to share your experience of the last 5 days. But what I'm saying is the 7 principles that I've brought into my life, which is about self-love, loving myself more, respecting myself more. They've given me a routine. And every day I take baby steps in my healing process because I'm still healing. And actually, you know, again, give thanks to Denise because I feel that I was still broken. There was things that I was sharing with you, Denise, in my very first session that was going back from that 10-year period. So, you know, this healing process can take a while. So it's just, in a sense, having that awareness that it's time to seek help and support. Okay, so these principles can be used at any time of your day. If you're feeling the real highs, so we went through this on during the 5-day experience. So if you're feeling joy, love, appreciation and passion, then that's great. But if you're at the lower end of the emotional scale, then these principles will help you to raise your vibration and get you focused and into your flow. All right, so set that bit here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first principle, which is higher thoughts. Okay, and I've just been listening to a great guy who's really reinforcing that message about it all starts with us. And Bob Proctor tells us this, that the mind is an activity, not a thing. Okay, so he reminds us that you can't see your mind. You know where your hand is, yeah, you know where your arm is, but you cannot actually see your mind. So it's all about that vision for your future self. And I believe that that's what really kind of, it was the turning point for me when I was, you know, when I say I was literally in my bed, depressed, I could not get up. I had teenagers that were running their own life because mummy could not cope with the world outside and what was happening. But something within me was reminding me about the vision that I had previously created for my future self. And that vision was reignited. So it's about connecting to that law of vision, because if you don't have a vision, as they say in the Bible, the people without a vision will perish. So there's an affirmation that I was trying to say, yeah, here it is. My success is inevitable. So that wasn't my actual affirmation at the time, but there was something within me that said, no, I was placed on this earth to do great things. And okay, I've hit a low point, but I am going to overcome this and I'm going to seek the support to do so. So higher thoughts for me as well is about using tools. And the first one I want to share with you is meditation. And this really can help you to clear limiting thoughts and limiting self-beliefs and provide you with continuous supply of connection to the universal field. It's the super consciousness, okay? So the reality is energy and consciousness. And when you actually embrace that we are we are all part of that I am. Whatever you say after the word I am is what you will be. So I had to start turning things around for me, and meditation really helped me to connect with the I am in a more positive way. And you have to learn to trust the process of meditation. So if you're just getting started with this, then don't worry, because there's actually no right or wrong way of doing it. Okay, it's just about going with that flow. Okay, I love listening to Abraham Hicks, and she really does explain, you know, she likes to listen to the white noise, she says, in the background, the air conditioner. And if you do find yourself like drifting off, then go back for that the sound that you can hear. So you just start small if you are starting out. But also for myself, when it was about my higher thoughts, I wanted to be clear about my vision. Okay, so if you have a clear vision for your life or your business, yeah, it's really going to support you, even when things don't seem to be working out for you. Think about how you're recording that information. Don't just have it as a vision in your head. You can use different tools. So the tools that I did use and then I forgot about, but I'm using again, and it's right here. It's private to me, but it really keeps me in tune, is my vision board. Think about how the conscious mind works. The conscious mind thinks in pictures, okay? And Napoleon Hill tells us that ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. So the famous book that Napoleon has written is called Think and Grow Rich for a reason. You've got to have that imagination. Now, if you are wanting to train the subconscious mind about what it is you want to bring into your life, one good idea, which I use on my phone and on the PC, is to have an image of what you want to bring into your life, or images visually where you can see them. Okay, so you can place things all around you and let that those images keep sinking in. Because you've got to provide clear instructions to the subconscious mind. It doesn't know what is good or what is bad. It's just going off what you want. So again, going back to the I am, if you're saying, oh, I am so useless, or I'm just so that, you know, then you're affirming that. Okay, so turn it around. Okay, which brings me on to affirmations, and this is where we're talking about higher thoughts still. Don't affirm negative things, because it's the subconscious mind that's going to take that on and actually deliver what you are seeking. So affirm positive statements, and these can help you to overcome challenges and any self-sabotaging thoughts that will arise within you. But what I've noticed with myself over this course of time is the awareness of when these thoughts come in, and then I'm reaching for, even if it's an affirmation I have to like quickly remember, or one that I'm trying to make up of on the hop, as they say, to myself, try and reach for that better feeling thought as well. So, you know, Denise has done a really good job of showing us how we can really take time to think about how we're feeling about food. Take time to really reflect on how you're feeling in any given moment. Now, I do have a forgiveness prayer. And for those of you who are on the call, if you want to get access to that forgiveness prayer, then please reach out to me or leave a message here in the chat, because it was the forgiveness prayer that really pulled me through. I was so disappointed with myself. I shared this on the call at the weekend. I didn't realize that emotion of sadness and the sub emotions that I was feeling. I was so disappointed with myself. I wasn't angry with myself. I was just so disappointed that I hadn't made the best decisions along the way. But the forgiveness prayer has definitely pulled me through it. In fact, the original version that I've written is so tatty around the edges because I reach for this forgiveness prayer on a daily basis, even when now there's actually nothing that I'm trying to forgive of self, but I just want to reaffirm that I love myself, I trust myself, I honor myself, okay? So let's talk about how we can raise our energy. And we've touched on this in the conversation this evening, which has been great. It is about hydration. I've been drinking so much water. I can see Louisa's water bottle in front of her. Alison's spoken about water this evening. It's fantastic because staying hydrated is so, so important. And most people are actually dehydrated. I've done a lot of body readings along the years of doing wellness coaching, and I've seen it. Now we know, or maybe we don't know, so there's just a reminder here that the body needs at least 2 liters of water. And if you're a woman, it's actually 45%. Okay, if your reading comes under 45%, it means you are dehydrated. So there's lots of reasons, but I'm going to give you one today. Drinking water. Denise gave you one actually about the weight loss, so you're going to have 2 for this evening. So drinking water is going to significantly have a positive impact on your energy levels and your brain function. And I've written a little note to myself as well about blessing the water. And I know it may seem strange at the beginning, but it's going back to the point I've just made about affirmations. You know, if you said, I love you, I love you, I love you, sound, yeah, the sound of your voice, you're putting that sound, yeah, it will have a positive impact on the cells of your body. They have tested it. All right, so we've touched on water. I'm now going to tell you about keep your body moving. We've spoken about it at the beginning of the call. You need, according to the NHS, 150 minutes of exercise a week, okay? So it's not really that much if we was to break it down over the course of a week. Keep your muscles fit and supple. What you don't use, you will lose. And we've got a personal trainer on the call who will back me up on this, okay? Keep your bones strong and healthy. Give your heart and your lungs the workout that they require, yeah? Most of us, if we've been going through this COVID situation, and I know it's all coming out and all the rest of it, but you know, for myself, I still work from home. And when I work from home, I notice that I have to make that extra effort to move. I've been on the campus today, running around, as I've just said, for catering and all sorts. And yes, I'm on track. Nearly 9,000 steps, and I'm going to do my little happy dance after this call, don't you worry. So I will make that 10,500 steps tonight. I am so conscious about how much do I move. We want to boost our mental health as well. It has been proved that you can walk yourself out of a bad mood, okay? And of course, we want to keep our bodies burning, moving, so we can start burning the fat and the calories. As Denise said, I love that point, Denise, about shrinking those cells. It was hilarious the other day when my uncle was telling me about turning fat into muscle. I was like, you cannot turn fat into muscle. They're 2 separate things, but he's old school, so I'm not going to go in there. But there's certain myths that we have to break, okay? Do your weightlifting, you're not going to turn your fat into muscle, don't worry about it. All right, so as I go on, talking about higher energies, faith is really, really important. It's important to me on a personal level. And I want to let you know that the ether is a great cosmos, massive forces of vibration. And Napoleon Hill, as you can tell, I have read his book quite a few times, but he reminds us that any idea, plan, or purpose that you can think of and hold in your head, your mind, if you repeat the thoughts and you take action, then this is fantastic, because you are actually going to activate the faith within you. But you need to work on yourself every day. You need to work on your self-confidence every day. Please do not take it for granted. Even when you are on a high and you feel like, oh, you know, whatever I was bringing, you know, seeking to bring into my life, I've actually achieved that. I'm good now. No, the most successful people in this world, and define success how you want to define it. Okay, so I'm not here to say what success. My success will be different to yours, but the most successful people in different areas of this world, whether we're talking about spiritual growth, whether we're talking about finances, whether we're talking about their career, they work on themselves daily. Study others. It is so important to study and learn from others, and keep reviewing your mistakes and fundamentally keep going. I mean, I made a mistake today with the catering order. So I've got something to review, but you know, just be gentle with yourself and keep going. And when it comes to your faith, you can affirm it is done. So whatever you are trying to bring into your life, very, very powerful sentence, it is done. You have to claim it, yeah? And keep the main thing, the main thing. So let's move on to principle number 3, which is about raising our vibrations, getting those vibrations high. Now, these are activation codes. Now, I know I'm going deep here. Don't worry about it. We can always pick this conversation up another time. But source energy, so whatever you feel comfortable with, whether you want to say the word God, the universe, whatever word you feel comfortable with, but all that is, yeah, the divine creator communicates to us in lots of different ways, so signs and symbols, but numbers are also a way of that communication. And one of our Divine Cuppa episodes was on gematria, Denise, so I might even share that within the group. I really enjoyed that conversation, what we did there. So there are light codes, which is where you're upgrading your DNA and your intuition. And I will say, Denise will like the sound of this. I actually saw some light codes come through to me in my meditation this week. And it was like, you know, you're deep in your meditation, you're like, what's that? But it was light codes, okay? Now, I want to tell you about, let me say his name properly, Grabavoy codes, okay? Now, this is an engineer, mathematician, Grigori Grabavoy, and he has been given the acknowledgement from those who are using these codes that he's giving us the modern cheat sheet codes to communicating with the universe. And I use these codes, and I really, you can't say it's one particular thing, yeah? What I'm saying is these are principles that I'm using in my life. So for me, it's a mixture of everything, but I know these codes, I personally have seen certain things, so try them out and see how it goes for you. Let's talk about auto-suggestion. And this is so, so important. Auto-suggestion is where you are really connecting with your subconscious mind, okay? Now, auto-suggestion, I recommend that you record on your telephone or some kind of recording device in your own voice. So even if there's a set of affirmations, it's okay to listen to other people's affirmations, but your subconscious mind is going to respond to the sound of your voice even more powerfully. So if you can do that, that would be great. Just one moment, please.
Yeah, so that's a good idea to do that. What that is called is brainwashing yourself. And you want to brainwash yourself to something that you want, because when you fundamentally look at things, which we're going to go into in emotional fitness, is you know, when you don't believe in something, why is it that you don't believe in it? If you don't believe in it and it just sounds ridiculous, you can believe in something else.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you for that. I just needed to say a quick message to Mark there. So yeah, as Denise saying, you know, your thoughts can be negative or positive. So the subconscious mind is going to be like, well, it's you that's talking to me. You are the master. Okay, remember that you are the master. And what I say for women in terms of us standing out in our power, you are an empress, you are a queen. Okay, so you have to really own that. Now, going back to the emotional scale, you have to let your emotions be your guide. So set aside the time for the auto-suggestion. Okay, this is very important part of your daily practice. And the things that I'm saying, some of them you can, you know, some of you, you're on track anyway, you're doing your exercise, you're drinking the water, so great, you can tick that off. There's things that I'm saying tonight, I'm not saying go and achieve this tomorrow. It's bring in these principles into your routine slowly over time. Now, I do have a daily prayer. Again, the daily prayer I know has been fantastic because it's auto-suggestion. So the words from the prayer, which are not my original words, can you imagine saying that, repeating those words daily, like for 10 years? I'm not great at maths, but that's a lot of times that I've said this to myself. Okay. I also want to touch on sound healing. Absolutely phenomenal sound healing. That's why I've told you about speaking to your water. Haven't got a lot of time, but sound healing is historical. It has been used by the Aborigines. It's been used by the ancient Egyptians, and it is therapeutic. The therapeutic application of sound frequencies has been tested and it does work. So listening to certain frequencies will change the brain waves. So it's your electrical activity. And if you actually use things like a tuning fork, a weighted tuning fork, it's been shown that you can reduce pain, you can release emotional pressure, you can calm your mind if you're feeling distressed. So things like a Tibetan bowl are really soothing. I don't have one yet, but I've noticed when I'm doing my journaling with a Tibetan bowl playing in the background, I just feel so relaxed, and I'm so hooked into that moment of my automatic writing. So we're still on higher vibrations, and how can we not talk about gratitude, especially when we've been talking about it for the last 5 days, those of you that were on that journey with me. So you remember, you are a physical extension of source energy, all that is, okay? You just having that human experience. I was listening to a man last night who was talking about old souls and young souls. You know, this is the soul journey. Denise has spoken about that in other sessions that we've done together. So, you know, you are co-creating your life with this energy, okay? Whether you're actually consciously aware of it or not, it's happening. It's been happening from the moment that you arrived here. And as I shared on the call that we've had together, gratitude is a quality of being thankful. It raises our emotional vibration. And we've actually gone through the studies where they've shown it will have very good ways of increasing your positive emotions, raising your happiness levels, and so on and so forth. And I've made a note here that when you express your gratitude to all that is, the universe loves it, because the universe source energy is the source of your infinite supply. So the more you say thanks, yeah, we've always got something to be thankful for, the more you will receive your abundance. Okay. So let's talk about self-reflection. Now, this is where we have to go in to really know what we want on the outside. So I even had a little tune I made up about going in. So I'm writing a lot of songs, but these songs just come to me the more I'm going on this journey. So being introspective is really important. You've got to become comfortable with observing the self, okay, and analyzing yourself. Remember, I said you are the master, or I don't want to call you a mistress, but I'm referring to women on this call. So you are the empress, you are the one who's in control. So just rate yourself, give yourself an opportunity to think, where am I now in terms of your business, if you have a business, your relationships, your relationship with money, your spiritual growth, your health, your family. Give yourself a score from 1 to 10 and be honest, because this is a conversation that you are having with you. So it's the I and the I, all right? And I aim to do this once a quarter. We've just done another session, Mark and I, last week, which was more about the business. We was doing it together, but in a sense, I was being very honest about my performance, and it was so releasing. I mean, in terms of raising my vibration and my frequency, just to share that honest, you know, being honest. And if you have got somebody in your life that you can have that conversation with, where you know they're not going to judge you, then take time to do that. So we've spoken about nutrition tonight. It is something that I had down here because obviously what we put into our body is going to make a difference. So I'm not going to labor the conversation because we have spoken about it in depth and we're going to move back onto that. But, you know, if you're wanting to boost your energy levels, definitely make sure you're looking at what you are eating. I want to give you a quick reminder about words have power. So even though it's not one of the principles, it's something that in terms of my self-awareness, I am more aware of the words that I use. For some of you who are new to my conversation, you might say, why does she use certain words? It is all deliberate. It's not because I'm being awkward or I don't know the traditional way of saying things. It's because I have studied the deeper meaning of these words. So the language that we speak is English, and unfortunately, there's a lot of spells that have been mixed up into the English language. Words can be magic, but again, remember what I've just said about affirming things to yourself. The spell magic in the English language, so you can actually be casting a spell onto yourself. So I just wanted to put that out there. The reason why Grand Rising with Vanessa is called Grand Rising with Vanessa is because if you was to break down the word morning, so people say good morning, but actually the real truth of that word is related to death and related to mourning the dead. So I know it's something that maybe some viewers may not be familiar with, but it's something that I'm aware of, and I definitely think about it because I want my vibration to be high. Who's that? Oh gosh, sorry. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so going back to Vanessa talking about blessing the water, something that if you were to look at on YouTube, there is an experiment on YouTube, not specifically, but it's they have two plants, and various people have done this study. And one plant basically gets told that it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, I love you. And the other one gets bullied and is called horrible, you're disgusting, blah, blah, blah. And over a period of time, whether it's 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, the plant that's been bullied dies. So this is why words are important. Giving love to yourself is important. The words you're saying to yourself, your beliefs. If you know, there's times where I've reflected upon myself and just been honest and gone, oh God, it's because I don't believe in myself. And I'm like, what? I've done all this work and I still don't believe in myself. So sometimes you can take yourself by surprise, and you just have to be honest with yourself and find out what the true meaning of why it is that you're not moving any further with whatever it is.
Sorry, Denise, I am back. I've just done the wrong thing. Thank you for that, Denise. Unexpected visitors. I'm actually in the kitchen here and they come around the back, so it did startle me a bit. So I'm going to skip some bits here. I'm on principle number 5, which is higher experiences. And I just want to talk about the fact that, yes, you do need to leave your comfort zone if you're really going to maybe taking on some of this work, or if you're on a journey where you're wanting to bring significant changes in your life, whether it be your health, well-being, relationships, your finances, you will have to be prepared to leave your comfort zone, challenge your fears to expand your mind. Okay, and I'm going to leave you with Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself with Joe Dispenza, because that is a fantastic reference point. And I want to tell you about your intuition as well. It's really, really important, this point, because your intuition is something that we all have and we can develop over time. I even told Denise about, I'm definitely experiencing how my intuition is just on point with certain things that have even happened over the last 2 days. But if you're wanting to bring, positive changes into your life, then following your intuition is going to help you to step into taking inspired action, because this is when you're working from a point of inner knowing and not from your conscious thoughts, because your conscious thoughts, in terms of your ego, may be trying to hold you back. All right. So I would really love you to start listening to your intuition. All right. So as I wrap up now, I'm on principle. No, I'm still going to finish principle number 6. Actually, this is important because it's about creating your own world. Okay, now working with mentors, working with coaches is important, working with guides, having those shortcuts. It's about expanding your knowledge. Heart-centered actions is what I've learned about, especially working with Denise and other coaches that I've been working with. It's great because I've been able to work through my own emotional blocks. So I've taken another quantum leap. Okay, so there was a big quantum leap to get me over that struggle, get me obviously back into a routine and back into action. But I had to take another quantum leap. That's what's been happening. And you've got to start to tune into your emotions so much, where you're recalibrating the world that's inside you. So the world that's inside you is the world that you're creating. As I said, whether you're consciously doing this or not, you are creating your own world. Okay, but when we start to work through our emotional blocks, it gives us, particularly if there's things that feel that they're a struggle to bring into your life, changes that it might be ideas, or for me, projects that I was wanting to really step into just weren't coming like literally into the present. We have to look at our emotional blocks. That's why emotional fitness is important. So as I close, this is principle number 7, which is about being in your flow. And you will know when you're in flow and when you're not, particularly as you start to develop your intuition. If you want to get serious, now is the time, okay? It starts from today. The day that you live every day is the day that you're choosing, in our thoughts, in our actions. And as I said, if you're really tuned into your emotions, it can help you to make better decisions depending on what it is you're doing in the day. So be obedient to the vision that you've created for yourself, which I discussed at the beginning. You will need to be prepared to be patient with your consistency. So it's very easy, I hear it all the time on different things that I listen to. You've got to be consistent, you've got to take action, but actually you've got to be patient with your consistency. Sometimes that consistency doesn't just come. So be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself. Accountability is great. If you can have an accountability for different parts of your life. So even Jo, she's got an accountability with the 10-day marathon. She's in the group, but she's got an accountability buddy for her water. So you will find, I know Louise has got, we wouldn't say accountability, but people that you like to go to walks with, so that helps you to stay active. So we can bring different people into our life to help us on our journey. So dedicate yourself to expanding to a new level. Celebrate your wins, which is fantastic, because we need to celebrate the different parts of the journey that we're doing. Reward yourself in the moment, which is really, really important, and make sure that you are writing down your accomplishments. If you can do it daily, great. If you can't, just take some time, like I said, in that reflection mode to really make sure you're celebrating yourself, because it's a journey. It's not, we're not sprinting. Yeah, we're going to have to be prepared to take this journey. So for me, it's been a journey of self-discovery, a journey of spiritual growth, a journey of emotional freedom. And, you know, all the time I'm recognizing that my mind's expanding, I'm changing, new souls are coming into my life, new experiences are coming into my life, and my world's changing every day. So as I close, what I want to say is keep going and you will become unstoppable. So supercharging that super you means you will become unstoppable. Okay, if you have any questions, then let me know. Thank you for listening.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, so full of information and wisdom again. I was blown away by that talk.
Has anyone got any questions? We're just taking it in.
Yeah, just taking it in.
Wow. Alison, that's the second time you've heard this talk. Does it feel like a new talk?
It does, but I think sometimes, again, for me, it's like you're repeating it, and so sometimes you pick up different things to what you heard the first time.
Yeah.
And I loved like how you talked about language, and sort of in what I do, we sort of talk about how, you know, the language that we use with other people. But what I also found interesting from some of the things that's been said tonight, I was listening to a lady and we were talking about labels and how sometimes people are labeled and how that can impact on us. I used to have this awful, I mean, my hair at the minute, it's grey. This bit at the front is natural, apart from this bit of purple, which my daughter absolutely hates. But I was a blondie at one point, and I absolutely hated being a blondie because a lot of people just, you know, is that the same old thing? Oh, well, you know what they say about blondes. So as soon as my hair went grey, I was happy. I was much happier in myself. And it's daft, but people do label people, and it has an impact. And like you talked about getting outside your comfort zone, for me, I use the word stretching my comfort zone. Then I find that word not quite so scary.
No problem. Thank you. I just want to say good night to Jo before she leaves the call. Thanks for being with us, Jo. Yes, I definitely hear what you're saying, Alison. And, you know, going back to the labels, actually the words that you're saying to yourself are doing more harm than the words that other people are labeling you with. So brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna put the slides back on because we're running slightly over. Are there any more questions at all? I can pick them up in the networking session. So can you see this screen, this slide? Okay, does it come through okay? Yeah. Brilliant. So thank you, like I said, very much for listening. Sorry about the interruptions rather. This is the reality of working from home. Oh wow, family life. All right, I'm not gonna skip this actually. I've got to tell you about the group coaching and accountability club. It is a place where if you are feeling that you are just feeling stuck, maybe you are a bit unsure about your purpose, about the meaning of your life, maybe something challenging has happened to you as what happened to me, and you're just feeling a little bit off track, or actually you've got a really good idea but you just don't feel motivated to execute the idea. Well, guess what? I have a group coaching and accountability club. We meet once a month. And the next session is Thursday, the 5th of May. So that's next Thursday at 8 o'clock. Louise, you will be getting a call about that club because you've got an invitation to come into the club now. Okay, so I'm loving the stories and the growth and the development that's going off with the women in there. I'm not going to read the testimonials tonight, but I'll just leave them on the screen for those who are wanting to read them. So I love those thoughts. So we are going to take a quick break. If you need one, it would be great if we could go through. Do you need a quick comfort break? No? Okay, brilliant. Just to give a shout out to Jeanette from Any Green Will Do. Jeanette's doing fantastic work with her eco-friendly products, so I'd like to give her a shout out on this call. But if you are health and wellness, working in the health and wellness industry, and you want to have a chance to advertise with me, not just here, but also in the Facebook group and through other parts of my marketing plan, then please do get in contact, because I've got a fantastic opportunity for you to become an expert member within the group. So let me know if that's for you. All right, so welcome back. We didn't have a break, but I think particularly because I haven't seen Alison for a month, and we've been talking about gratitude this week. What's one thing that you are thankful for that's happened since either the last time you were here, or in Louisa's case, the last time you spoke to me?
For me, I've got quite a few things to be grateful for, and some of those is the way that things are going with regards to my work, and I am also grateful for the fact that I've got such a lovely family. That is always one of my first and foremost grateful things. And like you talk, I do go to bed quite a lot at night time, and sort of as I'm going to sleep, I always sort of say thanks for several, you know, just little things that have happened in the day, and you know, just sort of, I am a big believer in talking to the universe. So a lot of what Vanessa-Mary said tonight, you know, I'm really into all of this. So as I say, there's quite a few things, so probably too many to list on here tonight. So oh, can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I was saying it's good to hear that you've got a gratitude practice. I personally love to hear those stories. Denise, what's your gratitude?
Like every day, I feel really kind of happy and content at the moment. So I think just being, I might not necessarily say it out loud, but I feel it all the time, you know, and I try, I feel like I'm more in the moment at the moment. Just taking everything in because everything's happening so fast for me, which is good, actually enjoying.
So it's that mindfulness. And Louise, you've been part of the gratitude and love series that I've done, and you're doing the 14-day challenge. So maybe you want to share what you're grateful for today.
Yeah, just what Denise was saying. I was just talking to a friend earlier before this, and I was just saying to her, I can't remember the last time I actually felt this happy, genuinely in my heart. I feel happy, and I feel that so many good things are happening because of the changes that I'm making, and the new connections and the new information, and I'm connecting more with the people that are really, what's the word? Really good for me, really positive people, where we're sharing information, we're bouncing each other, and that energy is just really great energy. And I'm really homing myself around those people more. Yeah, that's. I'm just grateful for so much at the moment.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love stories like this. I really do. Brilliant. Okay, Denise, I'm going to hand it back to you. The hostess with the mostess with the fabulous earrings.
Oh, do you like my earrings, guys?
Oh, no, actually, no, I'm not handing it back to you. It's still me.
Is it still you? Hurry up then.
Yeah, right. I just want to share with you about, yes, I did change my mindset. I did change my life. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't eating the right food. So this is my story 13 years ago. My energy was low, but I was actually exercising, but I was on the wrong diet. But I actually discovered a way of basically improving my nutrition. It helped me to reduce my, or release my weight is a better way of saying it nowadays, release my weight. I dropped 2 dress sizes. And now, as you will know, I've had Centaur. Yes, he is a toddler, but you know, even as a mummy, I had 2 years in lockdown and things weren't going as well as I wanted them to. So I'm back on it. And, you know, I've always continued to take my nutrition, live that healthy, active lifestyle as much as I could during the lockdown. So I set up like a little mini fit camp in my garden and things like that. But, you know, now things are back to normal. My energy's increased. I'm taking the regular exercise, as I said, and the daily accountability is what I needed, because it's okay for me to be coaching others, but Denise will know this as my coach. I was starting to say to her that actually I need sharpening in some areas. So daily accountability is really working, and that's the 10-day marathons. And if you haven't heard this message before, particularly if you're listening to the replay, if you've never heard me give you an invitation to have a conversation about your wellness, I have a way where we can have a conversation. It's an online wellness forum, and we can just talk about how things are going for you. And if you're local to me, I can give you body composition. If you're not, I can give you some pointers of how you can get that information, and we can have a look at how your body is actually doing from the inside. All right, where are we? Yes, right. Before we do that, oh gosh, it's all going wrong. Yeah, Louise, right. So for everybody, I've done this gratitude and love series. It was 5 days. I enjoyed every minute. Louise was on the call every night. Louise, is there anything positive that you could say about that, please?
About the experience?
Yeah, the 5 days that we've just had.
Oh, yeah, it was just all wonderful. It just reinforced things that I used to do. I learned new practices. It was lovely. Other people that were on that, we were sharing information, which actually triggered things for me. It was just great. It was just really good. And I'm really, really pleased and thankful that you've continued it as well, that we're doing the 14-day continue with the gratitude.
Yeah, thank you for that, Louise. You know, again, I said step out of your comfort zone as part of my talk this evening. And for me, doing that kind of experience was something that I'd been shying away from. It's very popular for coaches to do that type of 5-day experience, sharing knowledge on a particular topic. And I wasn't going to let my ego keep protecting me and keeping me small. Yeah, I really wanted to share that. So I'm so glad that you know, it's added value to you, Louise, and the others. There's been some really positive comments. And for anyone who's interested, I'm taking down the recording in the Facebook community. So if you're listening to the replay, by the time you hear this, the recording won't be in the Facebook community. But if you do want to have a listen to that, then the recording will be available by request, on request as they call it. All right, so thank you for sharing that, Louise. And Joe was on that call as well, but Joe's had to leave the conversation early. So it is raffle time. Oh my gosh, finally. So come on then, Denise. Maybe I need to talk about the prizes though, don't I? Denise, you talk about your prize.
Yeah, so I'm offering a distant healing session. So anyone that wins this just need to send me what it is that you would like for me to heal. If you don't know, then I can just tune in and send you some of my energy. and then we can communicate as to how you're feeling.
Brilliant. It's very good energy. Like I said, I definitely started having breakthroughs, emotional breakthroughs after spending time with Denise. And my offer is a half-day intensive session. It's called what is it called actually? I think it's just called Half Day Love Intense Self-Love or whatever it's called. Can't remember the title, but June went through the program in March. She got a big smile on her face. Denise actually won the prize last month, and we haven't had that session yet, Denise, but you
No, I haven't cashed in my
you haven't cashed it in.
Yeah.
No. But I have got something very special planned, so we will do that. And then also there is a prize of a fantastic, you can't see it in the light, but this is the Herbalife.
Like roll from
Can you see it? It's the Herbalife Skin Results Kit.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is really good for anyone who wants to focus in on their skincare. So there's only 3 tonight. So I think you're all going to win something. Oh dear. I love this raffle though. I really do. And I've got a surprise coming up for those in the Facebook community, but I'm telling you tomorrow. Okay, who's this? Oh, in fact, what order am I doing it in? Am I doing it in the third prize? Yes. Okay, so the winner, the winner of the results kit is Alison. So Alison, you would need to give me your contact details, and that will be getting posted out. I won't post it out. I'll get the company to send it directly to you. So let's do the, what's it called? Distance healing, Denise.
Well, it better not be me. Who is it? Is Joe's
No,
name?
your name's not in it.
Okay, good. I was like, what if I have to
do it on yourself? Oh, come to this session. You're gonna laugh, if anything. All right. So Joanna, she's not here, but Joanna, you have got the distance healing with Denise. I'll let her know that. She'll like that. Do you know what I'm loving? I'll just share this with you. Someone like Joanna, who I've been working with for about 2 years, with her coming on these calls, you know, she hasn't always won the prizes, but when she wins the prizes and then she gets to spend time with the other coaches and everything, and she comes back and she tells me about her experience, you know, it's all about our expansion. So I love that. Also, Louise, that means that you are the winner. Now, Louise, you've actually already had an emotional fitness session with my good self. So it will be a little bit about what we did before, but I might throw some other bits in as well.
Have I, Vanessa?
Yes, when you had the heart-centered coaching.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can just remember the heart-centered coaching.
Yes, yeah, I'm calling it emotional fitness here because of the session that we do afterwards, but it's just words. It's all good.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, I look forward to having another opportunity to be with you in that kind of session as well. Love it. All right, so that's raffle time. So we are networking. Denise, oh no, we're not networking yet. I must have mixed something up. No, let me tell you about this. I've got another 10-day marathon starting next Monday, the 2nd of May. So if you are intrigued by the 10-day marathon and you want to know more about it, then send me a message. I'd love to have a conversation with you. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And can I just share, Denise, I think you're going to be really proud of me. My actual release over the last 2 days has been 0.6 kilogram in the last 2 days.
You are looking.
You know what, Dee?
I always notice at my face when I lose weight.
Well, it's going to be even more because today, with all the running around that I've done, so I should be on a good one tomorrow. So yeah, let me know if you want any more information about that. We start next week. And
well, I'm away in Mexico next week.
Oh, yes. Are you taking those fancy earrings with you?
Yes, I am.
Yes, of course. I've got to tell you about next month. Okay, so next month, please save the date, Thursday, the 26th of May, 7:30. I've got another wonderful woman with me. Her name's Elka Hausler. She's a natural painkiller. Natural painkiller. That's what she calls herself. So if you are feeling pain in any area of your body, don't miss that conversation, because Elka, she has a lot of different techniques that she can talk about. So which one she'll be telling us about, I don't know, but I know that it would be a good talk. Alison, have you heard any of Elka's talks yet?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a lot of wisdom.
Yes.
All right. So I want us to stay connected, but before that, I want to really express my appreciation to Denise. Thank you so much, Denise, for co-hosting this evening. It was lovely just to hear that different conversation. I think a slide's been missed. Because the
emotional fitness one.
Yeah, the emotional fitness slide, maybe I went past it when I went wrong. So what we could do, I'm going to turn the recording off now, because it will be pretty long for those who are listening to the replay. If Louise and Alison want to pick up that emotional fitness, we'll do that now. So anyone watching the replay, that's us signing out. It was the Health and Wellbeing Cafe. I've had the wonderful Denise Mustard with me as our special guest hostess, and she's got beautiful earrings then. She outdid me on the earrings tonight, I must admit. So thank you so much, Denise. Thank you for the women who joined the live. And if you're watching the recording, if you are watching it on YouTube and you like what you've heard, don't forget to give me a thumbs up on that recording. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love that. It'd be great to have some more subscribers. I'm trying to get to 50, because this is the thing, celebrate all of your wins, and when I get to 50 subscribers, that is, I will definitely be celebrating. So if you could do me a good favor and press that like and subscribe button, I would love it. So that's us signing out. I send you light, I send you love, vibrate high, and you will receive your abundance from above. Thank you so much for watching the replay. Okay.